I want to read now in our breaking news coverage. This is a response to the pardon of Sheriff Arpaio. This is from a leading Republican from the state of Arizona, Senator Jeff Flake, and he has, of course, been a target recently for taunting by President Trump. He has a speedy reaction to this news, which has just been breaking, saying, regarding the Arpaio pardon, I would have preferred the president honor the judicial process and let it take its course. The implication from the senator there saying, basically, the president did not honor the process. Joining me now, Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego, a Democrat who represents Phoenix, Arizona. Congressman, thank you for making time. And I don't want to berate this point, but I will say you and I, any normal time on a night like this, would probably be discussing the hurricane and disaster preparation. And we've been covering that throughout the day and are going to cover it more. But all of these developments require us to discuss the Arpaio pardon, your view of the pardon, and whether in any way you think it was more than inappropriate, but somehow an abuse.
Well, to begin with, it's cowardly. The president, decided to use the cover of a Friday evening as well as a hurricane to pardon one of his racist friends. I've been fighting Sheriff Joe Arpaio since I was even in politics as an activist. And let's be clear, the reason why he was convicted was because he was racially profiling Americans. Latinos with surnames that were Latino were being pulled over. Veterans, mothers, business owners were being pulled over randomly and asked for their citizenship. Some of them actually held in jail until they could prove they were citizens. And that's actually what ended up creating the situation that got him into the process that he is right now. He actually signed a DOJ agreement saying that he would no longer racially profile because he ended up arresting an American citizen and held in jail for a couple days without any proof of a crime. And then he proceeded to willingly violate that actual agreement for years. And then when the judge actually caught up to him and realized this, he put him through the proceedings that he is right now and was convicted. At this point, he was about to go through his sentencing program, which would have been at most 60 days in jail he would have gotten, according to the guidelines. So what we see right now is the president using an excuse to pardon somebody, not because of immigration issues, because that's not what he was convicted for. It's for racially profiling Americans. And at the end of the day, why is the president doing this? The president doesn't care about anybody. This president cares less about Sheriff Joe like any other citizen. It has nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, he's just trying to set up, again, and erode the idea of the rule of law so he could end up pardoning other people. He didn't go through the normal DOJ process for pardoning. He didn't get the recommendation from the Department of Justice to pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio. And the reason why he's doing it is because he wants to erode the idea of pardons in general so he could go on and pardon his friends and his allies that may have helped him on his campaign. And that's the most detrimental thing about this. I was with many of these young men and women back in 2006 when we were protesting against Sheriff Joe Arpaio, when we knew he was racially profiling people, when we know there was abuse going on in his jails. And we believed in the system. We believed that if we either got him out of office through the electoral process and or went to the judicial process, eventually we would get justice. And we did get justice when we voted him out. And then we thought we got justice when he came to the judicial system. But then we have Donald Trump, who thinks he's above the law and that all his friends also get to be above the law. And by the way, that is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing and a horrible message that any American president can send to political people, as well as just, in general, all Americans. That you can be above the law as long as you are doing something that is, quote unquote, politically popular, or if you back the right presidential candidate. This is just a further proof that the president is basically eroding all the most basic things about our American democracy. We're binded by the Constitution, but it's the norms, the rule of law that have actually kept us together. And he is slowly eroding everything we can. And this is one step further in basically eroding the idea of equal treatment under the law. Because at the end of the day, all you have to do is be very popular and hope that the right president gets elected. And next thing you know, you'll get your pardon. And this is it's just a sad statement. But at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me, I'll be honest. Donald Trump is a racist, and he's pardoning another racist. And this is just par for the course.
What do you think the reaction here is going to be in Arizona, given all the divisiveness up to this point?
Well, to begin with, this wasn't popular at all with not just Latinos, but with most Arizona citizens. And this will only motivate a lot of people that have already been unhappy with Donald Trump. And I'm not just talking about Latinos. I think there's a lot of people that now realize that President Trump is out of control. He is literally destroying the basic tenets of our democracy and our stability by going after the rule of law. The pardon in Arizona was only polling, I think, at the mid-20s last time. And now that he's done it, and he did it in a very cowardly manner. He didn't go out and explain himself.
Right.
He didn't tweet out like he
No, I
normally
mean, let
would
me
tweet
jump
out.
in, Congressman, and say, yeah, as we've been reporting, and this is significant, he's doing all this under the cover of a humanitarian crisis that we don't know its bounds.
Absolutely.
We don't know what's going to happen over the coming days with this slow-moving Category 4. We know we haven't had a hurricane of this magnitude in over 12 years. This is the moment he picks. And that leads me to the final question I have for you, and then we turn to some more these breaking stories on Russia that are also quite significant. But final question to you, based on the tenor of the way you're putting this tonight, it makes me ask, do you think it is the use of the pardon power that ultimately could undo this presidency?
Well, I mean, like, this presidency is being undone by the president himself. What he unfortunately has done is undone the power of the pardon now. He has lowered it to a base level that any president now, from now on, could use as a precedent to basically, pardon people for political reasons, especially when they're not even done through their whole judicial proceedings. For me, this is an abuse of power. It is abuse of power that any president prior to Donald Trump, we would all have been screaming through the roof. But again, he is changing the tone and the temperament to the point where somehow this is going to be considered blasé in the next 3 or 4 days when he tweets out something else that's very stupid or distracting. But at the end of the day, he again has debased the power of the presidency and now the power of the pardon. I don't think the pardon will ever be considered the same way. And it's because this president is unworthy of the office that he is actually serving right now.
Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.